The final whistle has blown, but the most important conversation is just getting started. Welcome to the locker room, where the conversations we need meet the truths we avoid, where the game ends and real life begins. I'm Primetime. Pull up a seat. Let's step inside the locker room. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Locker Room. Let's step inside the locker room, where forgiveness isn't always about the other person. Sometimes it's about setting yourself free. So, again, let's step inside the locker room. See, today, inside the locker room, we're going to be talking about betrayal, grief, letting go, family wounds, healing, justice versus forgiveness. See, when we look at those topics that we want to talk about, right, which was let's go back to the beginning here of that first topic, and how that plays a lot of setting ourselves free, right? Because we can't set ourselves free if we have that void of betrayal, or that feeling of betrayal, or even if we betray someone else, right? We got to be able to set ourselves free from betrayal, right? So the crazy thing is that everybody at some point in their life has felt betrayal in some way, shape, or form. It may be from a friend, a relationship. It may be from just a family member. Betrayal is something that's, in a sense, almost hard to avoid. And so when we look at, and I like to look at definitions, and I got a lot of definitions for these different topics today, right? And when we look at betrayal and what that means, that pretty much looks at the act of breaking someone's trust, confidence, or loyalty by being dishonest, disloyal, or acting against their interests. So, some examples of betrayal that we look at are a friend sharing your photos or telling your secrets without your permission. That's a betrayal of your trust. Giving confidential information to an enemy is considered betrayal. Did you when they lost your trust? How can you be set free and forgive that person and move on? See, it's hard to forgive someone for what they have done to you, but that's all I'm asking you to do, is to forgive that person. It's not easy, and I'm not saying that it's easy, but it's okay to forgive that person. I'm not asking you to forget what that person has done to you. So go ahead and forgive that person or those people who have wronged you, who have betrayed you. But don't forget, don't hold no grudges. Just move on, move forward. Uh, Right? The next thing that we're going to look at here is grief, right? Is how does grief work side by side with forgiveness, right? And that was a question that I had to ask myself too, is how does grief and forgiveness work side by side? And it's the research that I got from this, right? Because I like to do research and get some different information here. But so grief is the emotional response to a loss. That loss can be a death in someone's family. It could be the end of a relationship. It can be just drama, a broken dream. It even ties into betrayal of trust. Forgiveness is that decision to release resentment, or the desire of revenge toward that person or situation that has caused the hurt. So, grief, when you look at grief and how these two work together, forgiving someone or something, right, is it helps you acknowledge the pain that you are facing today. That grief helps you free yourself so you can heal and you don't have to necessarily face that kind of situation again. See, forgiveness, it helps you release yourself from the burden. Grief, acknowledging the pain. Forgiveness, releasing the burden, right? It allows you to move forward. See, grief, it tells you you've lost something valuable, something important in your life. When you look at forgiveness, right? Forgiveness is saying, I won't let this take control of the rest of my life. So it's oh my goodness, it's hard because when you have grief, when you lose someone, the death of a loved one. See, when I looked at grief, when I was putting my notes together, grief is this is interesting and it speaks to me a lot because I've lost loved ones. I've lost my dad. I lost my younger brother, right? I've lost friends to suicide. But grieving allows me to acknowledge that there's pain there, that I'm feeling something. And I don't necessarily need to fill that void with negativity. And then I have to forgive, but not forget. Forgive that person who has wronged me and my family by making us grieve the death of a loved one and making us go through that pain. But forgiving them allows me to not let that take control over the rest of my life. Grief looks different for everyone. Grief is not the same for you as it is for me. So take the time that you need to grieve, get it out, forgive, and then push forward. Not saying move forward and forget that it's ever happened, but push forward. Get over that hurdle. Make the best out of every opportunity and situation. See, this next thing we're going to look at is letting go. Letting go of the situations. Letting go of what's holding you back. And since when you let go, you feel free. Just think of how when you just take that deep breath and you just breathe in, then you breathe out. That breath, that deep breath you just took, that breath of fresh air, just when you let go, just feel the weight of the world come off of your shoulders, come off your back, and just let go. Don't hold on to the past, because the more that you hold on to the past, the more it's going to weigh you down, right? Because again, letting go, forgiving, isn't always about the person on the other side of that situation. It's about you and how you need to be set free from that betrayal, how you need to be set free from that grief, how you just need to let go and let the weight of the world go off of your shoulders. Because I'm here to tell you right now that you don't have to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to show emotions. It's okay to grieve and feel betrayal. It's all right. See, we have families that we grow up in, and our families will hurt us as well as our friends will hurt us, right? And one of the things that I look at here in family wounds, and this is a interesting story that I'm gonna share here, but it was just one of the biggest things for me is that I was playing baseball and I got hit with the baseball bat, knocked my tooth out or whatnot, and it just right there in itself, I couldn't eat no real food for about 4 months. So for 4 months, the only thing that I really could eat was applesauce, chicken noodle soup, like the Campbell's concentrated one, and then after about 3 months of just having none but applesauce and chicken noodle soup, I can see I was starting to lose weight. I was just not myself anymore. I didn't let go of the situation at the time, um, but I got the opportunity during month number 4, like, hey, listen, like, just try some rice and gravy, something different. Throw a curveball in there, right? Because it's still soft food and it's still somewhat in a form of liquid, right? And so I was just like, man, rice and gravy. And I had that first bite of rice and gravy, and oh my goodness, I felt like I was just in a different world. And at that time, like, I was just like forgot anything had ever happened, but I was still working through that pain of being hit with a baseball bat that knocked my teeth out and then had me go in for countless dentist appointments. When I mean countless, it was like every other week or so I was in a dentist office. I had to get um, stitches put in my mouth. I had to get root canal after root canal. Um, I had to get my teeth with the Invisalign done. There's a lot of stuff that I need to get done, and they put crowns on and different things like that. And it was just so much work that I had to get done that it started to affect me physically. Where I was in school, and every time I had to go to a dentist appointment, I was being pulled out of school, and it started to affect my grades. And then my grades started to slip, which then means I like to play sports, and then I couldn't play sports because I couldn't keep my grades the way it needed to be because I was always missing school for dentist stuff. And so it just started to weigh down on me, right? And it was like, man, like this is crazy. But after the end of that year, I was able to forgive and move on. Now, this story I just laugh at a lot now because it's something that, like, man, like, this happened to me. At the time, I wasn't really in much pain, but when people ask me like, "Oh, what happened to you?" I kind of tell it as like a story, like, "Oh man, like, I was playing baseball, I got hit with the baseball bat, and this happened to me, and I was rushed to the emergency room, and I was there for 4 hours before they got to give me some saltwater Tylenol and sent me home. The next day, I got in for emergency dental visit, different things like that, right? But I use this as a story to tell, and it's sometimes the stories that we tell where we hurt from will help somebody else because again we don't know where people are at in their own personal life, so telling people our stories may help them hear something that they may need to move forward in their life. And so just expressing that with them and just letting them know like, hey, like, it's okay to hurt, it's okay to be hurt by someone, but move forward. Forgive them, but move forward. Don't let that hold you back. And I had the opportunity to not let that hold me back at all, and I got to move forward. And now I can look back at this day and just laugh on the situation, and just think it's funny. So for me, that's everybody. Like I said, everybody deals with like grief, betrayal differently, letting go differently, family wounds. Everybody handles this kind of stuff differently. So take that opportunity and handle it the way you think is right. Reach out to people. Don't try to take this on by yourself because it's going to be a struggle. Just think that every hurdle in your life that you go through, you should have someone there to walk you through that hurdle to get over it, right? Because every loss in your life is not considered a loss. It's a lesson learned. It's a lesson learned of who you need to be around. It's a lesson learned of who you can trust. It's a lesson learned on what to do and what not to do going forward. And every time you face a hurdle, go at that hurdle full force. Don't be afraid because on the other side of that hurdle is going to be your season of success. Every time you feel down and depressed about something that is going wrong in your life, go at that with full force because on the other side of that mountain, on the other side of that hurdle, on the other side, there's another season that's waiting for you. And that season is going to be your success. That season is going to be your upbringing. That season is going to make you stronger. That season is going to make you who you need to be to help others get through that same kind of hurdle, to get over that same kind of mountain, to get through the life struggles that you have been through that they're now facing. See, do not ever compare yourself to where someone else is at in their life, because you're in a different point in your life than that person is. That person may be far behind you. That person may be well ahead of you. But network with these people and ask them how they got through certain hurdles in their lives and the things that they have done, because everybody has some kind of wisdom that they can pour into others. Healing takes time. Everyone needs to heal. Some people, they look at healing as, hey, this can happen overnight for me. Some people that might work. But some people, it's taking forever. Like, you have to really look at what healing does for you. When you grieve the loss of a loved one, how can you heal from the loss of a loved one? What does that look like for you? It hurts. Nobody wants to lose a loved one. But look at how you can heal. Talk to someone. Talk to a counselor. Talk to someone that will help you heal, so that way you can move forward. Make sure that you take your time. If you work for someone, take that time off that they give you. If they give you 4 months off to grieve, to heal, take that 4 months off. If they give you 2 weeks, take those 2 weeks. But take the time that is given to you because those people that are in charge of you will take that same time that is needed if they were in the same situation. It's always like I tell people as well, you have PTO, use that PTO. You have sick days, take those sick days, because at the end of the day, to some of these jobs, you're just a number. And then they're going to move on from you and they're going to replace you. So take that time off. If you got a day off throughout the week or whatnot, take that day off. Rest, relax, recover. Do something that's going to take the stress off of you. Process how work's been for that week, whatever it may be, but just take the time that you need. Heal properly. Don't rush it. The next thing we're going to talk about here is justice versus forgiveness, right? And that is a interesting topic. And I'm going to pull up my notes for this one because I have some decent notes here for this right here, right? So when we look at justice, right? So justice is about making things right as much as possible. And you got to have that through accountability. You got to have that through the consequences of your actions. And you got to have that through a sense of fairness and equality when you're assessing situations, right? So you got to focus on the truth and responsibility. You got to protect others and restore order. Justice also looks like, legal action, discipline, restitution, boundaries. And some questions that we ask is, what happens because this is wrong? So one of the other things that we look at, right, is how justice and forgiveness are related, but they serve different purposes. Justice addresses accountability. Forgiveness addresses the condition of the heart. It's about to get deep up in here. When we look at forgiveness, you address the condition of your heart. Where is your heart at when you are forgiving someone? Where's your heart at when you're grieving? Where's your heart at when you felt betrayed? Where's your heart at when you felt wronged by a loved one? Where's your heart at when you're healing? See, forgiveness is the choice to let go of resentment and the desire for personal revenge. So forgiveness also focuses on healing and freedom. It does not excuse or minimize any offense whatsoever, does not necessarily restore trust or relationships. And forgiveness asks, how do I move forward without being controlled by this situation in itself? So how do I move forward without being controlled by this situation in itself? Right? And so when we look at forgiveness versus justice, right? So forgiveness, again, it holds people accountable. And justice, forgiveness releases personal bitterness, sorry. And justice holds people accountable. Justice seeks fairness, and forgiveness seeks inner peace. Can the two coexist together? Absolutely. You can forgive someone and still believe they should face the same consequences of their actions. For example, a victim, they stole something. You may forgive them, but still prosecute them. A betrayal of a spouse may forgive them, but choose to end that relationship. An employer may forgive an employee personally, but still terminate them for serious misconduct. See, forgiveness isn't the opposite of justice. In many cases, justice establishes accountability, while forgiveness prevents bitterness from taking root. When we look at justice, your actions have consequences. And when we look at forgiveness, I refuse to let that define my future. So again, you have to choose to forgive someone and set yourself free from what's actually happening in your life, because you can't let that hold you back. Let's look at it like this. Is forgiveness for them or is it for you? How many people, and I'm gonna put this poll in the chat here, but how many people believe that forgiveness is for the other person or is it for you? And why? Right? Because we're going to put this poll up. So is forgiveness for them or is it for you? See, growing up, when I look at this question here, I always look at it as forgiveness was always for the other person. And I forgive you, man. Like that person is they're feeling guilty. They're coming to you. They're apologizing. They want to, they want to move forward, and it's like, man, I forgive you, man. Don't worry about it. Like, you're good. You're good. And then looking at it now, that forgiveness is not necessarily just for them, it's for us as well. It's for us. Because it's something about forgiving someone that allows us to move forward. It allows us to have peace. It allows us to grow as a person. It allows us to just feel the weight of the world off of our shoulders. And I want you guys to know that it's okay to feel the way that you feel. It's okay to sit there and say, I forgive you, but I'm not going to forget what you have done to me. Because if you're my friend and you've wronged me, but I'm not going to forget. So when we find ourselves in situations, it's like, man, you supposed to pick me up, and this happened to me. You left me hanging high and dry. Alrighty, the next time I go out and I need to be picked up, I know I'm gonna call everybody else first before I call you to give you that second opportunity. Now, if everybody's busy or whatnot, and I know they're busy, you might be the first person I call and give you your second opportunity sooner rather than later. But how do you take that opportunity and move forward with that opportunity? How do you forgive someone? How can you move forward with forgiving someone? It's hard. It's not easy. But again, that question is there. Is forgiveness more for them or is it more for you? And be honest with yourself. Be honest. Be open. It's hard. I'm telling you, it is hard. See, it's interesting because for me, I'm the type of person where you got to earn my trust, but I'm going to give you 100% of my trust. And so I remember a time where I believe I was a freshman in college. Yeah, I was a freshman in college and I was playing volleyball at the school I was going to. And pretty much it was right around Valentine's Day. And Valentine's Day holiday is typically one of the challenging holidays for me because I lost my dad the day before Valentine's Day. And so that's around the time where zone in, honor his memory, and just kind of celebrate his life. And so obviously, I had a volleyball game that day on my dad's death anniversary. And so one of the things that we had to do was devotions, and I had the devotion that day. And one of my teammates was very rude, very ignorant, had his headphones on, wasn't listening to the devotions that we did with the team or anything. We get out to the before we even left, the team went out to the gym to go warm up, and before we left the locker room, I talked to one of my um, good friends on the team, and I was like, man, like I really feel some kind of way, like he wasn't paying attention, but every time he gave his devotions, everybody had to have full attention on him, and it was just a big thing. So some stuff happened during the game, and needless to say, um, he was told to go into the coach's office, and after that, he was kicked off the team, and then we were in the locker room, and he came in as we were getting changed, and we're all celebrating because we almost, not necessarily almost won the game, but we played better than what we normally did. and I think we had won our first set in over I don't know how many games it was, and I guess we were just happy that we had won the set that match. And even though we lost, we still found a way to celebrate this one set that we had won. And so that player, after he got kicked off the team, came into the locker room and walked up to his roommate who also played volleyball and said, I hope you have a great rest of the season. Then he like hawked me down, pointed his finger at me and was like, I hope you're happy because I'm off the team. Went to a couple other friends that he had on the team and then got his stuff, left the actual college. And that right there, like he was coming at me at the heat of the moment. I was going right at him, and everybody's trying to hold me back and trying to hold him back. Then, needless to say, after everything was said and done, they finally got him out the locker room. We immediately go into prayer in the prayer huddle as a team, prayed about everything, and then couple months go by, and we are hosting a volleyball tournament on campus, and it's bringing different teams all over to come up and participate. And that guy had came in, and it was around that time where I like forgot everything even happened, but I had moved past the situation. Like I forgave him for everything that he did. You know, it's the heat of the moment. But one of the things that I realized is that that person was going through so much hurt and so much pain in his life that it was like stuff people were going through really didn't matter to him. And so, you know, I can't really hold too much against him, but I forgave him. I moved forward. Like you know, if I see him, I'll say hi to him. But, you know, it was just one of those things. And then, you know, it's hard. But, you know, forgiveness will take time. And there's still people out there who I may still be trying to forgive. Like, man, like you really just did me wrong. And there's definitely people out there like coworkers who I thought I could trust. People who I used to have work for me that, you know, did me wrong. And, you know, those are people that I got to forgive. And it's going to take time. It's not going to be something that happened overnight. I have to process a lot. I have to do a lot in order for me to say I fully forgave that person for everything that person has done. And that's where it's like, man, this is hard. Life is hard. But when you do the steps that you need to take and do the right things, it'll make you happier. You'll be a lot happier. And so what I'm kind of going to leave you guys with today is forgiveness doesn't erase the pain. It keeps the pain from controlling your future. My challenge for each and every one of you is write a letter that you'll never send. Until next time, I'm Prime Time. Let's step inside the locker room. Remember, every one of us is fighting a battle someone else can't see. Keep showing up, keep asking the hard questions, keep having the conversations that matter, because the strongest people aren't the ones who avoid the truth. They're the ones willing to face it. We'll see you next time inside the locker room.